Hey, it's Dr. Ron here, and I'd like to talk a little bit today about the concept of trying. Trying is one of those concepts that tends to get lost a lot of times, and I really feel that it's an important thing to focus on. When I was much younger in my career as a psychologist, I used to do a fair amount of testing, and it always bothered me when there were some tests. I don't know if they still have them today, but there were actually tests where you would lose more points if you tried and got the wrong answer than if you left the item blank. I could never figure that thing out. I also, when I did individual testing, would occasionally run into a child who, even if I could encourage them to respond, which some tests would allow us to do, I'd occasionally run into somebody who said, well, I was taught by my parents, if you don't know, don't guess. That's terrible. If you don't know, how are you ever going to accomplish anything unless you guess and then take the feedback from guessing? Trying and falling short is not a sin. Trying and learning something from it is an important part of development. It's also an important part of the way that we should behave during adulthood. Success, accomplishments, and so on are not achieved by people who don't try. Creative people have to go through many iterations of what they're trying to do in order to produce their art or story or song or whatever they are doing. Trying is an integral part of success. Now, there are situations where you don't want to make dumb mistakes just in the interest of trying. There are also, certain jobs where you can't be doing guesswork. But we're not always in those situations. We all have opportunities to grow by trying, by saying, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the likelihood of it happening? And what can I gain when things go right? When I wrote my first ebook called What Can Go Right, it was really based on that kind of thinking. We always are ready to know about what can go wrong, and that can hold us back from making some attempts. But how often do we pause, ask what can go right, and then make a calculated judgment about whether it's worth trying? So again, don't do dumb things, but one of the dumb things that one can do is not to try hard enough. So don't make errors that can be foreseen. But if you don't know the outcome, and if the potential of the outcome is not terrible, think of that three-letter word, try. Trying is the way the things get accomplished in the world. If you don't try, just like those youngsters would say to me, if you don't try, you can't get it wrong. But you also can't get it right. And as human beings with developed brains, taking calculated risks under appropriate circumstances really increases the odds of getting things right. Carol Dweck, in her work on mindset, differentiated between people who had a fixed and growth mindset. We've discussed this. But the hallmark of the growth mindset is being praised for doing things that represent trying, making an effort, rather than assuming that talent and other things are fixed in the personality. Many people have exceeded expectations by trying, and I think it's probably real important the next time that you're faced with a challenge, think about what may be holding you back and what can be accomplished if you try. And don't be afraid to come down on the side of trying. Again, three-letter word that can mean so much in terms of your personal development. Hope you think about it, and looking forward to seeing you the next time.